Welcome to the Junction. This is our first video. I will introduce the Junction, then I'll discuss one topic. I will not go into depth, but I'll try to make sense of the topic I will introduce. So I'm going to use a little more time in explaining the Junction. The Junction is a channel that discusses aspects of life in its entirety. Using my companion, the laptop, because the many aspects and the concepts I'll discuss will look technical, but they are actually the day-to-day way of living. What the topic today will actually be about happiness and the paradox of happiness when it comes to the chase. How we go into pursuing wealth, into working hard towards attainment for purposes of trying to live a good life, and how it is all about a paradox that the more we work, the more we think we are going to change things, the more they remain the same. And the hustle continues. So, the junction. Uh, this brings together many aspects. We have entertainment, we'll be looking at, where we will have several things to discuss. We will have several panelists as we go on. We will, entertainment, we will go to events and share. We will bring lifestyle. We will share food. People love food. We eh, live to eat, or the other way around. So now, that is, I think, just the broad of what we do. But what we will have done at any one point where we reach in the cycle of the channel will exactly define what we are. And that way you'll be able, as we interact together with our viewers, kindly be subscribing, hit the subscribe button, be our subscriber, and we will really appreciate. So I dive into the topic number one. The topic of today is the paradox I discussed of pursuits. Uh, there is something about allure of getting more that makes it look like, as we grow up, we know that when I grow up, I want to be a doctor. When I grow up, I want to be a pilot. When I grow up, I want to be a soldier. And we assume when we get there, it will bring with it happiness. You know, if you become what you want to become, you'll get a good wife, you'll get a good husband, you will get kids, you will live a good life. So we invest a lot and we get a lot of excitement when we accomplish these goals, when we reach those milestones. But one thing that you'll come to realize as we live, or you've already realized, is we sometimes don't become any happier. We continue to be where we are on our levels of happiness. I will dive into the technical and we will read some terminologies that make us define and understand the psychological aspects of it. That psychologically, there are many things we are pursuing are not the reasons that we become any happier or unhappy. If you want to look at the best case to make you understand this point is events of happiness and events of unhappiness, both that happen and come to our lives. And those events, let's explore the unhappiness. When you go through a loss, you come to a very sudden point of unhappiness. a point where you can lose yourself and you feel you will never come out of it. But what happens? Over time, you adjust and you are to the circumstance of whatever has happened, and again you come back to your normal equilibrium level of happiness. Whether you lost someone who was dear, whether you lost whatever the loss, we always end up coming back. Once we've adjusted and accepting the facts, we come back to the normal reality. And once we're on the normal reality, you come to your equilibrium of happiness. It is the same with success. That even when we chase, you get a new promotion, immediately you're happy. You get, you win a jackpot. Your wife who was going to divorce you is your best friend now. Your children who are unhappy with you because you've been too busy pursuing, they'll be very happy you taking them and spoiling them with gifts and taking them for holidays. They will forget that which made them resent you. And maybe the wife now will want to stick. But that is not a lasting happiness. The equilibrium always, we always fall back to that equilibrium. And then she realizes you are the exact man she resented. And she wants it over, regardless of the new windfall of money. Your kids they still resent the rich new dad. You know, you buy a new gadget for yourself. You've been chasing and wanting to get an iPhone 14, a wonderful Mercedes ML. You get that Mercedes, everybody is happy, you are happy, you are at a new level of happiness. You know, but again, happiness is never defined by these things we've been chasing. So what happens is we end up again falling to that equilibrium where we've always been in life. And what this teaches us is that happiness comes from a totally different area. And that area is there are those small things that make us happy, like a family that works. If the family works, and that could be a lasting source of happiness. If the marriage works, it could be a lasting source of happiness. Not the relationship itself, because you see, even when you start dating, you think, this is the best love you've ever gotten. Equilibrium is always coming, and you find that if you are not a happy man, you will still not be a happy man. But there are those things that bring happiness. They come from mostly inside of us, looking at appreciating small things, not necessarily the chase that we've been chasing. People say the rich also cry, and I want to cry like the rich than cry or like a poor man. You want to ride in the Range Rover and be unhappy there than be unhappy in Kibera, for example. Kibera being Islamic. Now, but you, on matters happiness, the rich might not be any much happier than the people in the slums. When it comes to once the basics have been met, happiness is just within us. Such that you'll find a kid in the slum who's very happy, and then you'll find an unfulfilled kid in a very rich place who ends up exploring drugs in pursuit of happiness or new happiness, because their equilibrium level of happiness is not what they've settled for. So in life, let's settle for the equilibrium happiness, and then let's try to do the small things, like make the relationships in our lives work. Let's try to appreciate giving. Let's try to appreciate family, the kids, the life, health. eh? Just generally, let's try to be happy and appreciate small things. That is how we be happy. That is the end of the topic for today. Welcome to the junction for the next topic, which I'm sure you'll explore. We will learn together, we will become better people. Thank you.